From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10. Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Ayotunde Balogun.
Hello and welcome tonight. Fresh political showdown unfolds in Rivers State as the House of Assembly initiates impeachment proceedings against Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy over alleged acts of gross misconduct. Mixed reactions trail impeachment moves against Governor Fubara as political leaders call for restraint. The All Progressives Congress rolls out e-registration across northern states ahead of the 2027 general elections. And Minnesota officials say the FBI has blocked their investigation into the shooting of a 37-year-old woman by immigration officials.
On business news, Nigeria climbs to third place in Africa's stock market rankings, and that's according to the OECD reports.
On sports news tonight, Nigeria Super Eagles arrive in Marrakesh ahead Saturday's quarter-final clash against the Desert Warriors of Algeria.
And from Abuja, the nation's capital, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps vows to re-strategize to ensure improvement in the Safe School Initiative.
In a shocking turn of events, the Rivers State House of Assembly today began a fresh move to impeach Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy, Professor Ngozi Odu, serving them impeachment notice. The lawmakers are pulling no punches, citing gross misconduct and fiscal irresponsibility as the reasons behind this drastic move. Our correspondent, Charles Operum, has this report.
It's the first plenary of 2026 at the Rivers State House of Assembly, and it's a power-packed one.
Good morning, distinguished colleagues.
Relying on Section 188 of the Constitution, the majority leader of the House, Honorable Major Jack, brings to the attention of the Speaker a notice of allegations of gross misconduct leveled against the governor by lawmakers. The notice contains 7 allegations against Governor Siminalayi Fubara.
Gross misconduct 1. Reckless and unconstitutional expenditure of public funds contrary to Section 120, 150, 1, 2, and 122 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. His Excellency Siminalayi Fubara, GSSRS, Governor of Rivers State, authorized or approved withdrawals from the Consolidation Revenue Fund of Rivers State in 2024 financial year of Rivers State without an appropriation law duly passed by the Rivers State House of Assembly, contrary to Section 120 of the Constitution, and that contracts, including the construction of the new Rivers State House of Assembly chambers and auditorium, were awarded without approval of the Rivers State House of Assembly.
After him, the Deputy Majority Leader brings another notice of allegations of gross misconduct, this time against the Deputy Governor.
Gross misconduct 1. Reckless and unconstitutional expenditure of public funds contrary to sections 120, 121, paragraph 1 and 2, and 122 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended.
That's not all, as the Deputy Speaker brings a motion to decline actions on the medium-term expenditure framework and the Appropriation Bill 2026 until investigations on the allegations of gross misconduct against the Governor and Deputy Governor of Rivers State are concluded.
Mr. Speaker, convinced that the governor is incorrigible, Mr. Speaker, the emphasis are mine. He cannot be trusted to abide by the Constitution, our groundlord, sir, or he to peaceful agreement against, sir, and does not show respect to the office and the person of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, sir. Further convinced, sir, that waiting for the conclusion of the investigation of allegation of gross misconduct against the governor and deputy governor before proceeding with the consideration and financial approval by the House is the best thing to do, is the best way to go, sir.
In his intervention, the Speaker, who is visibly angry, berates the governor and his deputy, saying their continued stay in office is detrimental to democracy in the states.
It is a mistake. Rivers State has never had it this bad. In the entire Nigeria, Simla Efobara and Professor Uma Ngozi Odu, these are the only two people in the office at the sub-national level that are yet to present 2026 appropriation bill. The entire country, rather than follow due process, what the governor has decided to do is to save money, change it to dollars, to subvert the will of the Rivers people, to subvert the constitution. Since May 29th, 2023, Simla Efobara and Ngozi Odu were sworn in. They have never for once issued any statement of account of Rivers State, not once. Elders that with respect are supposed to call him to order. They are going to tell him that what he's doing is good. Rather than calling on the governor, they are calling on our FCT minister, who is helping Mr. President Abuja, and making it look like it's a problem between the FCT minister and the governor. It is not FCT minister and the governor. It is the governor and the constitution. The governor is a threat to our democracy. We cannot continue to allow this to happen. We sit here, elected people, and we cannot follow, we cannot enforce the constitution. Then why are we here? Why are we sitting here? Why were we elected? Enough is enough.
Remember, this is what started and led to the declaration of a state of emergency. It is happening again. From the River State House of Assembly quarters, Port Harcourt, Charles Oporum, Channel Television News.
For now, the River State government is yet to respond to allegations of gross misconduct leveled against Governor Simonalai Fubara following the commencement of impeachment proceedings by the River State House of Assembly. As of the time of filing this report, the executive arm of government had not issued any official statement or reaction to the allegations or the impeachment move. Our correspondent made repeated efforts to obtain comments from government officials, including calls and messages to the Permanent Secretary, State Ministry of Information, Dr. Onosirao, but no response to the allegations has been received yet. Expectedly, reactions are already trailing the latest developments in River State. Some stakeholders who spoke with Channels Television in Port Harcourt, the state capital, say what the state needs most at this time is sustained political stability and peace. They reiterate the need for stability, peace and cooperation between the two arms of government for development to thrive.
What the House of Assembly did today is what I refer to as legislative halitosis. It makes no sense whatsoever, but they are acting at the behest of their principal, Nyesom Ezewonwike. And if you listen to them, I mean your TV covered it, your station, the speaker kept making reference to their leader, Nyesom Ezewonwike. And we all know the frosty relationship between the governor and Nyesom Ezewonwike. It boils down to the post, the treasurer of the state. The governor himself has said that he was not going to mortgage the treasurer of the state for anybody. It's an egocentric battle. It really has nothing. I'm talking of the battle between the governor and the FCT minister. The governor is there in the image of Rivers persons, but the FCT minister is not happy with that because he wants the governor to be there in his own image and to do his own bidding. But the man is not ready. So it's all about what I refer to as the pestilence of godfatherism.
River State issues have been lingering for some time now. And my advice for just two of them is just for two of them to come together and work together for the development of River State. If the governor of River State is not doing what he's supposed to do, at least they should come together and advise him. If the House of Assembly too is not doing the right thing, it is their duty to go to the governor and they come together, work together for the benefit of River State. That is only what I want.
More from the political situation in Rivers, and the All Progressives Congress spokesperson in the state, Darlington Waju, says the present scenario there is more of a political challenge that needs an urgent solution. Speaking on our political program, Politics Today, Mr. Waju says that impeachment is a process that must be followed through, but leaders of the party will ensure that all matters are resolved.
These are fratricidal issues that is dovetailing into our party. And these are issues that we are
occurring within the People's Democratic Party. And so it is as if we have inherited these challenges. As a political party, we do not believe that the House of Assembly and the governor should go the full hog with this kind of unnecessary banters. Not also forget the fact that achieving the process of impeachment under Section 188 of the Constitution as amended is not an easy, it's not a stroll in the park. Issues that involves people's psychomotor domains, it is very difficult for you to flog them into line. As full-blown adults, you don't do such things. And so it requires plenty of massaging of egos. This is an ego war, it's an ego battle. That said, the back-end meetings and behind the curtain meetings and as it were, rapprochement, the intervention of the leader of our party and the president of the nation, that this issue will be sorted out once and for all. It will not go the full hog, I want to assure you.
FCT Minister Nyesom Wike has commended President Bola Tinubu and the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, for the temporary opening of the East-West Road, describing it as a long-awaited and world-class project. Speaking during a thank-you visit to Bonny in Rivers State, Mr. Wike said the road fulfilled President Tinubu's long-standing vision and stood as clear evidence that the support given to the president in the 2023 elections was not in vain. Mr. Wike then urged the people to value visible achievements over political propaganda and praised the quality of work on the Bonny axis of the road. Earlier, the chairman of Bonny local government area, Abinye Pepple, described Mr. Wike as the political leader of Rivers State, assuring him of the continued support and loyalty of the Bonny people.
Through you, Mr. President has completed our project. We will thank Mr. President by delivering these 165 units and 12 political walls to Mr. President in 2027. Your Excellency, under your watch, Bonny people enjoyed the construction and completion of the Bonny Billion MHJT. Without your intervention, we know how the jetty was. All of us know that this Bonny Road has been a political road for long. Is it not correct? Every government comes, every government goes, we will do Bonny Road. But see how, without prompting, without putting pressure on him, as we were coming, I said to God be the glory, that in our time, we are riding on this road. Each time, when the Minister of Works will be briefing the Federal Executive Council about how far the Bonny Road has gone, I will not talk. I'll keep quiet. I said, well, I don't want to know how far. All I know, let us ride on the road.
In part two, after the break, Lagos State Commissioner of Police Olorundare Jimoh says additional officers have been deployed to border areas to strengthen security in the state. Please stay with us. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, coming to you live on Channels Television Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Fresh political showdown unfolds in Rivers State as the House of Assembly initiates impeachment proceedings against Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy over alleged acts of gross misconduct. Mixed reactions trail impeachment moves against Governor Fubara as political leaders call for restraint. The All Progressives Congress rolls out e-registration across northern states ahead of the 2027 general elections. And Minnesota officials say the FBI has blocked their investigation into the shooting of a 37-year-old woman by immigration officials. Let's talk some regional politics now, and some states across northern Nigeria have commenced the electronic registration process for members of the All Progressives Congress ahead of the 2027 general elections. Leaders of the party in Adamawa, Zamfara, Plateau and Kwara states led the exercise, including the national chairman of the party, who observed the implementation in Langtang North and Kaman local government areas of Plateau State. Our correspondent, Dele Omoyeni, reports.
Thank you very much. You may be seated, please.
Governor Caleb Muthuang of Plateau State, in the company of the national chairman of the party and members of the State and National Assembly, are in Langtang North local government area for the party's e-registration exercise. This move signals a new political realignment in the state. While Governor Muthuang urged citizens to participate in the e-registration process, stressing the importance of NIN and voters' details, the national chairman reiterated the party's message of inclusivity and unity, saying the APC is working with a single purpose to deliver the state.
You are eligible for the e-registration. You must first of all ensure that your NIN registration is complete. And once you have your NIN number and your PVC number, you will easily be registered on the e-platform. To find a friend, what come everything. And what people support, what come everything. To find an existing agency member. We are all one.
Meanwhile, the exercise, which also held in Yola North and Yola South local government areas of Adamawa State, witnessed a large turnout of party members to participate in the presence of senior officials of the party.
For you to be able to exercise your franchise within the party scheme of things, you have to come and be registered. And I want to also implore all the stakeholders and aspiring party members that intend to contest election. They need to bring people out to do the registration, because it's through this registration that you'll be able to contest for anything.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Governor Abdurrahman Abdurazak of Kwara State also flagged off the e-registration exercise in the state.
We want to know how many we are so that we can use that to enumerate canvas and project ourselves properly, empower ourselves properly, not leaving anyone behind.
The exercise is causing ripples in Zamfara State, with stakeholders calling on the national leadership of the party to institute an independent and transparent investigation into the process in the state.
We appeal for an independent and transparent investigation into the President APC membership e-registration exercise process. We request for immediate action to be taken in order to address any unidentified malpractices, including unwarranted dissolution, including, if warranted, dissolution of the leadership structure implicated in the exclusionary conduct.
The party is hoping to develop a comprehensive database of party members at the conclusion of the exercise.
As part of plans to strengthen security across Lagos, the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Olorundare Jimoh, has stated that more police officers have been deployed around the border areas of the state. While speaking on our breakfast program, The Morning Brief, he He reassured residents that the crime level in the nation's commercial capital has declined considerably.
We've been able to police Lagos to the extent that nobody can commit any major crime on the street. Even the issue of traffic robbery has gone to the lowest level. As at 3-4 days now, I've been reporting no serious incidents reported throughout Lagos State. It's not due to chance, it's due to a concerted effort and everything that we are putting. We are not resting on our hands to ensure that everywhere is safe. But we have ensured that we step up our deployment around all the area from Ikorodu to Ekpe to Agbowa to Ijede and the other area that are contiguous to other states. And visibly, even in the when you go to Vega, you see the Eco Strike Force team there. When you move in there, you see the deployment of the area command, the division along.
So let's now head to the nation's capital, and Victoria Longjohn is standing by to give us the latest from our Abuja studios. Hello, Victoria.
Thank you, Ayo. The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps is promising to come up with reforms that will ensure improvement in the Safe School program. The Commandant General of the Corps, Mr. Ahmed Audi, said this during a meeting with senior officers, which also featured the decoration of some newly promoted senior officers in Abuja.
The meeting becomes expedient in light of increased mandates for the Corps, including the VIP protection mandate. Strategies for protecting social infrastructure, including schools, formed the basis for the conversation as the Commandant General speaks on plans to strengthen the mandate of the Corps.
We also looked at our training module and realized that over time, over the years, our schools were never being conducted with curriculum. We don't have standard curriculum approved by the board. And we did that immediately. We commissioned a group of researchers headed by a professor. And we also appointed or nominated the retired military generals and some paramilitary and police officers who form part of that committee, about 11-member committee or so that works on our curriculum. And today we have a standard curriculum for all our schools. That was part of what we did.
The meeting also featured the decoration of some officers.
Then let's call who is down there? Ayuba. The last one. Thank you.
813 commanders wear their new ranks. The newly decorated officers were charged to increase collaboration with other security agencies to ensure improved security in the country.
Mr. President, in his wisdom and in keeping with the renewed hope agenda of the government, gave the go-ahead that we should conduct exercise for this promotion, and anybody that passed exam should be promoted.
According to the Commandant General, the Corps plans to increase investments in research, training and retraining of personnel to meet the demands of the reviewed mandates.
Time and again, the threat of illicit substance consumption continues to stare us in the face. Today, Nigerian students have been urged to shun drug abuse and other social vices in order to grow into responsible future leaders. The call was made at a public lecture organized by the Students' Wing of the Coalition of Northern Groups in Minna, Niger State.
Concern over rising drug abuse and social vices on Nigerian campuses took center stage in Minna, the Niger State capital, as students, academics and security agencies converged for a public lecture on responsible student leadership.
Barrister Salis Mohammed Sabo, you have the podium for...
The lecture themed Building Responsible Student Leadership, Combating Drug Abuse, Thuggery and Hate Speech, and Campus Disunity Through Positive Values and Mentorship is organized by the Niger State chapter of the Coalition of Northern Groups.
I think student leadership, is so central to the development of any nation, because they are anchored in our, campuses in our institutions, and they are actually responsible for shaping the citizens of the nation.
We are here in Mina because we believe that there are so many on and offs that are bedeviling the progress of our region. We are here in Mina so that at least we will conscientize the students. We will tell them what they're supposed to do, and we give them what the history has for this country.
The 2018 National Drug Use Survey conducted by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime reveals that 14.3 million Nigerians aged 15 to 64 use psychoactive substances. According to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, substance abuse among students in northern Nigeria range from 14% to 41%, depending on the population. Among secondary school students, it's reported to be between 20.9% and 41%. Among university undergraduates, the prevalence rate is between 14.3% and 37%. And among informal students like the Almajiri, it shows a high prevalence of 66.2% for psychoactive substance use.
May I, with your permission...
This formed the basis for the call for increased drug testing among students.
Today's public lecture to highlight some of the causes of drug abuse and drug use within campuses and outside campuses.
As stakeholders intensify calls for mentorship, moral values, and responsible leadership, participants believe that addressing drug abuse on campuses remains critical to securing the future of Nigeria's next generation of leaders.
And in Kano, the state government has announced a remarkable improvement in its climate governance performance, moving from 35th to 4th position in Nigeria's climate governance ranking within 1 year. The government attributes this achievement to institutional reforms, youth inclusion, and strengthened systems in environmental governance. Our correspondent Sadiq Ilyasu reports.
To assess the 1-year milestone that led to Kano State's new status as the 4th most environmentally friendly state, government officials and commissioners responsible for environment from Jigawa, Kaduna and Kwara states converged in Kano. The forum served as a platform to review programs implemented over the past 12 months, with particular emphasis on developmental progress recorded throughout 2025.
Over the past year, our approach has been consistent. We focus on restoring systems, improving coordination, and delivering interventions that respond to real conditions on the ground. Across sanitation, flood mitigation, erosion control, water access, afforestation, climate policy, and institutional reform, our emphasis has remained practical, planning carefully, executing steadily, and learning continuously.
Officials noted that while Kano ranked 35th in 2024, strategic policy implementation and effective governance have propelled the state to the 4th position. Speaking through his chief of staff, Suleiman Wali, the governor emphasized that the ministry is advancing its mandate with renewed clarity and purpose, driven by a strong political will to address ecological challenges decisively.
In Kano State, our administration is guided by the conviction that institutions must be strengthened, systems must function, and leadership must deliver outcomes that improve everyday life and secure the future. from the beginning, and in line with the blueprint of this administration and the promise that was made to the people of Kano, we made a conscious decision to open leadership space to capable young professionals whose competence, integrity, and commitment to service are evident.
The achievement underscores the state's growing commitment to sustainable environmental governance and positions it as a model for climate action in Nigeria. Sadiq Ilyasu, Channels Television News.
Now still ahead on the news at 10, Nigeria rises to third place in Africa's stock market rankings according to OECD report. That's some business news to join us again.
Welcome back. The Oxford English Dictionary, a book that is quite known to millions around the globe, has been and continues to be that one reference document where researchers in any discipline go to for guidance to understand the meaning, history, and usage of hundreds of thousands of words and phrases as it affects the English-speaking world. In the present day of learning, there's been a push for capturing the full context of what the English language is all about in terms of words and phrases, and even borrowed foreign words or languages. Believe it or not, we now have an addition of Nigerian words and phrases into the Oxford Dictionary a year after picking words like japa, eba, janded, and even adire. Presently, expressions such as Afrobeats even made the list. Talk about the popular phrase, Naija to the world. So, Simon, thank you so much for joining us here on the News at 10. And interesting to have you looking at a very interesting, should I say, phenomenon. Take us through some of these new additions of Nigerian words, phrases, what have you.
Okay, I mean, pretty much this is something that has been going on for a bit. Last year we had about 20 words added, Nigerian words and expression added to the dictionary.
20 words?
Yes.
Last year?
Yeah, including words like japa, janded, you know, and all of that. Adire was added last year, among other words. This time around we have about 8 words. And the words cut across, you know, expressions, interjections, quizzing, among other things. Words like, you know, abeg, which is, I mean, abeg, you know, the common expression to express surprise, frustration, exasperation, all of that. And then you have words like biko, which is, I mean, captures our polite way of making a request. In terms of the cuisine, you have things such as the popular amala. Amala has made it to the dictionary, right? Wow. Oxford English Dictionary. And then you also have moi moi.
Interesting.
Yes, so you don't have to, you know, try to explain to someone what moi moi is. You can as well say, check the dictionary and they'll get the meaning. Then in terms of, you know, I've left probably the biggest for last, and that is Afrobeats. You know, one of our biggest exports to the world in recent years has made it to the dictionary. It's a big export. It's actually one of the drivers of Nigerian culture and expression, and it played a big role in making this happen.
Interesting, remarkable. And I like the fact that you talked about Afrobeats, because I was going to ask you, I mean, for the next question, I mean, why are we seeing Nigerian words becoming so, you know, popular across the globe? And I'm thinking perhaps, does Afrobeats have a huge say in that?
Yes, it does. You see, Nigerian culture, pop culture, right, and expressions, pop culture has basically grown significantly, right, and its impact has become major. So Afrobeat and our themes, Nollywood, have helped to drive our slangs, our expressions, you know, and our words, our unique and vibrant type of English. So that has helped to create, you know, this awareness, and in turn has led to widespread use of these words and phrases. You see Nigerian music being played in stadiums across the world, in dressing rooms, in locker rooms. It's all over the social media, TikToks, kids. So people are trying to understand these words and phrases that they use, and it's bound to have an impact. And the more they use it, the more the chances that it will make it into the dictionary, because researchers are studying this word. So that's what's happening.
Fantastic. Interesting times indeed. Well, Simon Ijembi, thank you so much for your thoughts on the News at 10.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. The new management of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission and the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority have immediately taken significant steps toward enhancing regulatory efficiency and encouraging investments in Nigeria's oil and gas sector. This renewed collaboration was formalized during a meeting held at the Commission's corporate headquarters in Abuja. The Commission Chief Executive of the NUPRC, Mrs. Orishameyiwa Eyesan, and the Authority Chief Executive of the NMDPRA, Mr. Saidu Mohammed, agreed to work more closely and nominated representatives from each organization to address and resolve regulatory issues to clear up bottlenecks. To strengthen their partnership, they also resolved to hold quarterly meetings to enhance their working relationship and properly address any challenges that may arise while regulating the sector.
We see ourselves as enablers for the industry. Whether we are talking about the upstream, midstream, or the downstream, we are enablers for the industry. And without a shadow of doubt, we know that the industry is a heartbeat of the national economy. And so we are committed to ensure that things work properly and that the industry grows astronomically. We cannot do that if we do not work together. Because, like you all know, sometimes there is no fine line between up, mid, and down. It is difficult to create that fine line. And if we are not working together, then that becomes a problem. We look forward to a very, very fruitful year. We are going into the bid round. We have the pre-bid conference next week. It's a mainly upstream affair, but we'll be happy to have you join us just to support us.
Dominic Iwewe is standing by to give us the latest in the world of business. Dominic.
Thank you, Ayotunde. And on business news, African airlines have recorded the strongest growth in international passenger traffic in November 2025, with demand rising by 11.2% year-on-year, according to International Air Transport Association, IATA. The data shows carriers on the continent also expanded capacity by 8.5%, while seat occupancy improved to 74.3%, highlighting Africa's rising importance in global air travel despite ongoing operational constraints. Globally, passenger demand increased by 5.7%, driven mainly by international travel as airlines worldwide continue to grapple with limited aircraft supply and capacity pressures. Now, global professional services firm KPMG has raised concerns over gaps and inconsistencies in Nigeria's newly implemented tax laws. In a statement on its website, the accounting firm warns that unclear provisions could spark legal disputes and trigger capital flight, despite the reform's goal of boosting revenue and improving compliance. KPMG is urging governments to issue clear regulations, strengthen dispute resolution, and engage the private sector to protect investor confidence and support long-term fiscal sustainability. Nigeria's stock market has been ranked the third largest in Africa by number of listed companies, with about 156 firms, behind Egypt's exchange and South Africa's Johannesburg Stock Exchange, according to the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development. The report places Mauritius, Tunisia, and Kenya among the other African markets alongside Zimbabwe, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, and Botswana. This week, Nigeria's market crossed the 160,000 mark, pushing equities capitalization to a record 102 trillion naira, driven by gains in consumer goods, industrial, and banking stocks. The central bank says the market is expected to remain bullish in 2026, supported by recapitalization and rising investor confidence. President Bola Tinubu has commended corporate Nigeria citizens and stakeholders for helping the Nigerian Stock Exchange surpass the historic 100 trillion naira market capitalization milestone. In a statement, he described the achievement as a sign of growing investor confidence and encouraged Nigerians to deepen investments in the local economy, assuring that 2026 will bring even greater returns. He said, with the Nigerian exchange crossing the historic 100 trillion naira market capitalization mark, the country is witnessing the birth of a new economic reality. Inflation is likely to fall below 10% before the end of this year, leading to improved living standards and accelerated GDP growth. The year 2026 promises to be an epochal year for delivering prosperity to all Nigerians. Now, let's check out today's NGX performance highlights with Ini John Mekwa.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Stock Market Report. Well, the profit time in the NGX is still on, but the profit flow seems to be thinning out. Today, we had just 138 billion naira added to the market cap. We keep the 102 trillion naira level, and for the all share, we also keep the 160,000 level, and the market closed in the green, 0.13%. Contributors to this are not your regular large companies, but you know, there are still major contributors and gainers at the close of trade today. So we see CAP is there, Mayam Baker is there, as well as eTransact. On the flip side, we had also about the same. International Energy Insurance tops the list for the losers. ABC Transport, as well as Austin Lars, they are in the red. But the good thing is it's a small profit, but it's still the bull.
Now let's see other major equities performance for today. And that's it on business news. Back to Ayotunde for the rest of the news at 10.
Thank you so much, Dominic. We head to Kogi State now, where Governor Usman Ododo and his immediate predecessor, Mr. Yahaya Bello, have applauded the Dam Foundation for successfully hosting the Dam Foundation Basketball Championship, describing the initiative as a significant platform for youth empowerment, grassroots talent development, and social cohesion in Kogi Central. Speaking in Okene at the venue of the championship, which attracted massive public interest and blended competitive sports with entertainment and cultural expression, Governor Ododo reiterates his administration's commitment to youth empowerment.
Traditional rulers, captains of industries, top government officials, sports lovers, artists, indigenes of Okene are here to witness the Dam Basketball Championship. Earlier in the day, performances by Nigerian music stars drew large crowds. The tournament was conceived as a high-impact grassroots sports program aimed at identifying talents, fostering unity, and promoting community development through sports.
Today is not just the end of a tournament. It is a celebration of vision, unity, and the limitless potential of our dear people. The Dam Foundation was established with a clear purpose: to empower our people, create opportunity, and project the positive image of our people over the years. This vision has translated into real and measurable impact with youth and women empowerment program, skills acquisition, sport development, education support, and community-focused intervention.
Former Governor Yahaya Bello commends the organizers, athletes, and residents of Kogi Central noting that sustained collaboration between successive administrations has contributed to peace and stability in the state.
I thank God that I don't need to blow my trumpet. The governor does not need to blow his trumpet. His Royal Majesty does not need to blow his trumpet. We that are here today are witnesses to the great leap and advancement and development and achievement and successes from 2016 up till this moment. This is what we call IMAC. Seeing is believing.
Governor Usman Ododo announces a 50 million naira donation in support of the initiative, which he says aligns with his administration's focus on youth empowerment. Okene, the winning team, receives a cash prize of $15,000, one of the highest rewards for regional basketball competition in Kogi State, and a notable benchmark in Nigeria's local sports scene, while Okehi female team emerged as runner-up with $3,000.
Minnesota officials say they have been blocked by the FBI from the investigation of the killing of 37-year-old Renee Good, who was shot by a U.S. immigration agent on Wednesday. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem denies this, saying local authorities have no jurisdiction in the probe. Here's Simon Pusey with more on this and other international news and around the world in 5 from our London studio.
Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. A U.S. immigration agent has shot dead a 37-year-old woman in the city of Minneapolis, sparking protests overnight. Federal officials said the woman, Renee Nicole Good, had tried to run over immigration agents with her car, but the city mayor said the agent who shot her had acted recklessly. Videos of the incident show ICE agents approaching a car which is in the middle of the street. As it attempts to drive off, one of them points his gun at the driver, and at least 2 shots are heard. Hundreds of ICE agents have been deployed to Minneapolis in the state of Minnesota as part of the White House's crackdown on illegal immigration. Donald Trump posted the video before saying the victim had violently and viciously run over the ICE officer. Using an expletive, the city's Democratic mayor said that didn't happen.
Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bull. To ICE, get the out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here. Now somebody is dead. That's on you.
People need to stop using their vehicles as weapons. This domestic act of terrorism to use your vehicle to try to kill law enforcement officers is going to stop.
There have been violent clashes between anti-government protesters and security forces in several locations in Iran, as a wave of unrest sparked by the country's economic crisis continued for an 11th day. Iran's semi-official Fars news agency, which is close to the Revolutionary Guards, said 2 policemen were shot and killed by armed individuals in the southwestern town of Lordagan. Videos posted on social media showed a tense standoff between protesters and security forces. In footage from several other areas, security forces appear to fire guns and tear gas towards crowds of protesters. The Lebanese army says it has taken over security in the south of the country, which for decades has been dominated by the Iranian-backed movement Hezbollah, amid fears that Israel could escalate its military offensive against the group. Lebanon has been under intense international pressure, particularly from the US, to disarm Hezbollah, a powerful militia and political party, since the ceasefire deal in November 2024 ended a devastating year-long war between Israel and Hezbollah. The army had set a year-end deadline to clear the area south of the Litani River, around 30 kilometers from the border with Israel. The White House has said it was actively discussing an offer to buy Greenland that has for centuries belonged to Denmark. US President Donald Trump had earlier intimated a willingness to take it by force if necessary. This has been met with nervousness and opprobrium among Greenlanders, both on the world's largest island and elsewhere. Parts of Australia will face catastrophic fire conditions on Friday as heat waves hit most of the country, creating the most significant conditions since the Black Summer bushfires. Severe to extreme heat waves had been declared in every state and territory in Australia except for Queensland, with high temperatures forecast for days. The state of Victoria has declared a total fire ban for Friday, with northern areas shutting 450 schools and childcare centres as well as parks, as the fire danger level for the region will be set at catastrophic. Ukraine's energy ministry says Russian attacks have left the southeastern regions of Dnipro, Petrovsk and Zaporizhia almost entirely without power. Critical infrastructure was operating on reserve power, it said in a statement, while officials said water supplies and the internet were also disrupted. Russia has recently intensified attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure aimed at paralyzing power supplies during a harsh winter. And a pair of twin mountain gorillas has been born in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, a rare occurrence for the endangered primates. The community trackers who discovered 22-year-old Mafuko hugging her newborns said the mother and her two baby sons all appeared to be well and healthy. Twin births are thought to account for about 1% of all mountain gorilla births, although exact data is not widely available. Virunga National Park, situated in a conflict-prone part of Democratic Republic of Congo, is Africa's oldest and largest national park and was set up 100 years ago to protect mountain gorillas, of which there are fewer than 1,100 left in the wild.
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.
Hello and welcome to Sports News. Let's get things started in Morocco, where the Super Eagles of Nigeria have landed in Marrakesh and are ready for business ahead Saturday's quarter-final clash against the Desert Foxes of Algeria on the ongoing 2025 Afcon. Both countries with 5 African titles between them will throw everything into the encounter as they seek a place in the last 4 of the continent's biggest and most glamorous football tournaments. And the last time both nations met was an international friendly on September 22nd, 2022, with Algeria emerging victorious in a 2-1 win against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. The winner of the encounter will take on the winner of the quarter-final game between Cameroon and Morocco. And ahead of Friday's game, Morocco's head coach Walid Regragou says Cameroon has more to lose in the Cup of Nations quarter-final between the sides. The tournament's host nation are the favorites to win the competition, given their home advantage, as well as the fact that they are Africa's leading side in the FIFA World Rankings. There is, however, a historical precedent to the clash. The last time Morocco hosted the Cup of Nations was in 1988, when their dream of winning the trophy was ended in defeat to Roger Miller's Cameroon in the semi-finals right there in Casablanca. Well, on the flip side, Cameroon's head coach David Bajo admits facing the host nation is an extra motivation for his side. The Indomitable Lions, the host nation, have met 13 times across all competitions since their maiden meeting in November 1981. And Cameroon have dominated the rivalry, winning 6 matches compared to the Allies Lions' 2 victories, and 5 games ended in a draw.
Sunday Balogun. To have a good night.